If you're a real estate agent who dreads lead generation because it feels uncomfortable or salesy, you are not alone. Most agents are quietly following someone else's plan, hoping it will eventually feel better, even though every part of their body says, this isn't me. But here's the truth. If the plan doesn't match how you're wired, you're not going to stick with it. And that doesn't mean something's wrong with you. The real problem is the mismatch between your personality and your lead generation method. When your strategy fights your wiring, your brain hits the brakes every single time. But when your style aligns with your activities, lead generation becomes easy. I'm Angie Shot with Angie Shot Coaching. After 18 years as a full-time real estate agent and 3 years coaching agents, I've helped countless people stop forcing strategies that drain them and start building the ones that fit who they are. So if you're ready to stop forcing yourself into lead generation, you are in the right place, because today you're going to learn how to build a plan that actually works with your wiring. Here's what I see, especially with the newer agents. They want a prescription. Tell me exactly what to do. Tell me it's guaranteed and I'll do it. That's why cold calling gets brought up so often. Agents whisper, Angie, when are you going to make me cold call? Because that's what they've been told success looks like. Sure, you can make 100 calls a day and eventually get a lead, but if the thought of cold calling makes you shut down, you're not lazy, you're human, and that's not going to happen. If it makes you feel gross, salesy, or out of integrity, you're just not going to do it. And then you have two problems: the pain of doing something you hate, and then number two, you still don't have any sales. Humans avoid pain. That's normal. That's biology. So if you hate cold calling, guess what? You're not lazy. You're human. That's where my approach flips the scripts. Guess what? If you don't want to cold call anyone, I'm not going to tell you to do it. Here's another secret. I haven't cold called once in 18 years, and I'm not going to start doing it now. So instead of forcing you into a punishment plan, we talk about a performance plan that matches your DISC personality. I'm going to break this down more, but here's the big picture. Do you love people? You can do events, open houses, community meetups, anywhere where conversations naturally happen. Do you love numbers? Start working with investors, speak their language, analyze deals, profits and loss. Do you see the shift? You don't always need to build a brand new skill. You need to know what you're already good at and do more of that. This is where the DISC profile becomes a game changer. If you're not familiar with it, look it up and take a free version of the test. It'll take you about 10 or 15 minutes, and it'll give you an explanation of your personality type in a generalized but pretty accurate way. It shows how you naturally communicate, how you make decisions, how you take action. I'm going to briefly break down the outcomes of the DISC profile that matches with lead generation activities. And keep in mind, these are broad generalizations, not meant to be encompassing to everybody. And I have 2 letters behind my name. They're both strengths. So let's walk through each DISC type, and then you can see which lead generation methods match your wiring. The D personality is direct, dominant, decisive. You want speed, efficiency, and you want to take charge. Lead generation would be for sale by owner, a direct, fast, minimal fluff. They can turn that kind of outreach into a game. But I could list 2 out of 3 for sale by owners. You want to go right to the decision makers. This works because it's action heavy. They don't like chit chat or small talk. They get right to the point. They might steer clear of more fluffy activities like buyer seminars or big networking activities. The I personality stands for influence. They're social, talkative, and relationship driven. They thrive on energy and connection. They want lead generation to feel fun, social, and expressive. Open houses would be perfect. Keep the conversation flow. Super high energy. Social media is another great one. Client parties. They want to be at the party. The I's need energy, interaction, and the ability to connect without a whole lot of structure. The S is for steady. They're calm, dependable, and supportive. They're relationship builders, but they're not loud about it. They thrive in reliability, trust, and one-on-one connection. They would be great at long-term client follow-up. They're going to have lots of repeat business because they keep in touch with their people that come into their trusted circle. One-on-one coffees or lunches in a smaller group, community involvement, and giving back. They're going to build deep referral partnerships. This is relationship based, and it speaks directly to their strengths. C stands for conscientious. They're detail oriented, analytical. They love data, they love systems and accuracy. They want mastery and not chaos. They would like to work with investors or more analytical buyers. They might create market reports and data. They would build systems, guides, and checklists. This allows them to deliver their expertise through structure and credibility, but not small talk. The C real estate agent is great with details, and their contracts and negotiations are rock solid. So if you've been wondering, why can't I stay consistent? Maybe it's not you. Maybe it's the plan you're following, and it feels like pain, and your brain is simply doing what it's wired to do and avoid it. So stop forcing yourself into a strategy you dread, because guess what? You're probably not going to do it anyway. But when your strategy aligns with who you are, your confidence goes up, your resistance goes down, and your lead generation becomes sustainable. The plan you need to build as a real estate agent shouldn't be a punishment plan. It should be a performance plan that matches your strengths instead of fighting against them. Once you pair the right lead generation activities with your disc type, when it all feels aligned, feels natural, feels authentic, consistency will happen and it won't be such a struggle. That's why I don't give agents that prescription, but I help them build a performance plan. So stop forcing yourself into someone else's system and finally build a lead generation plan that feels aligned and doable, because your business shouldn't feel like a punishment. It should feel like you, so that you can find clients, have success, and enjoy the path along the way.